All right, what's up, everybody? Brian here, and this is my thoughts on last night's episode of SmackDown Live, as well as a recap of what took place. So let's get right into it. Of course, last night's SmackDown was the SmackDown after WrestleMania this past Sunday, where there was a match for the WWE Championship involving AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Of course, Styles came out on top in that one on Sunday and retained the championship. But afterwards, Nakamura apparently has become a bad guy, a heel, when he attacked AJ Styles after the match. And as well as we saw the return to the ring of Daniel Bryan, as him and Shane McMahon were victorious over Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. A lot of questions heading into last night's SmackDown Live. Would Nakamura explain why he did what he did? We kind of got a heelish answer from Nakamura last night during an interview that he did backstage, where he basically played off like, oh, I don't know what came over me and all this other stuff. So that was pretty much it for that. The opening segment of SmackDown last night was Shane McMahon coming out and basically saying that Daniel Bryan is no longer the GM of the SmackDown Live, and he announced a new general manager for SmackDown Live, none other than Paige, who, if you remember, last Monday night on Raw announced her retirement from in-ring action, and in a very, like I said in my Raw review, a very emotional speech, considering everything that she has accomplished in her young career, and for her in-ring career to be over. But this is a new opportunity for her, being named the SmackDown General Manager, and she wasted no time in getting to work. One of her first official act as General Manager of SmackDown Live was to make a main event for last night's edition, being none other than the WWE Champion AJ Styles taking on Daniel Bryan, who was returning to in-ring action on SmackDown Live in 3 years. So that was a huge main event. What else? We saw the Usos. We saw the Usos defeat the New Day in another epic encounter between those two teams, and the Usos are now the #1 contenders for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, and they will be getting their opportunity to challenge the Bludgeon Brothers, who won the titles at WrestleMania this past Sunday. And that match will happen at the Greatest Royal Rumble event happening in Saudi Arabia on April 27th, which is a Friday on the WWE Network. So that is a huge matchup for that show. We found out that Jinder Mahal will have his first title defense at Backlash, and he will be facing Randy Orton, who earned that right on last night's SmackDown Live in a triple threat match, defeating both Bobby Roode and Rusev. The match I thought was okay, but I thought they should have went with with somebody else. Why go back to Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal when last year their matches were okay, but not all that great. So, but it is what it is. Let's see what else. Of course, there was a lot of talk about the Superstar Shakeup next week that is going to be happening on both Raw and SmackDown next week. We saw the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial or not Andre the Giant, of the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Sorry about that. Naomi, she took on Natalya. This came about because of a backstage interview that Naomi did earlier in the day, where Natalya walked up and basically insulted her, saying that she was not the favorite to win that battle royal. She got lucky, and then with all this, with all the talk about the Superstar Shakeup and stuff like that, Naomi beat Natalya last night with the split leg moonsault, and that was pretty much it for that. Nothing really exciting. It was basically just a match, just an average match. It was nothing really exciting. We did see a debut, and SmackDown last night became iconic as the iconic duo Peyton Royce and Billie Kay from NXT. They came up last night on SmackDown. They made their debut. And what a big way that they made their debut. And they came out and interrupted Charlotte Flair, who cut a promo talking about her match at WrestleMania against Asuka, where she ended Asuka's undefeated streak. Billie and Peyton came out, basically made fun of her, and then attacked her. Basically beat her down. They threw her outside the ring. They would hit what looked like they would hit a double team move on Charlotte Flair to the arena floor. They would throw her over the announce table. They would throw her back in the ring, and that was pretty much it. And who would reap the benefits of this? None other than Miss Money in the Bank, Carmella, who came out and cashed in. She told the referee, I believe it was Mike Chioda, that she grabbed, and basically gave him the briefcase. At first, I was a little confused because they were like it looked like Mike Chioda was like, "Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? You want to cash in now?" And they kind of took a long time for the referee to ring the bell and hand the ring announcer the briefcase and say that Carmella was cashing in. So that was a little confusing, but Carmella cashed in. She hit a boot on Charlotte Flair, pinned her 1, 2, 3, and we have a new SmackDown Live Women's Champion as Carmella cashed in after 280 some days or something like that. The longest reign as a Money in the Bank winner. So she is now the new SmackDown Live Women's Champion, that being Carmella. And my thought on this whole situation is that it sets up, depending on the result of next week's Superstar Shakeup, it sets up, two feuds if Charlotte Flair and Carmella are still on SmackDown Live after next week. It sets up two feuds for Charlotte with her and Carmella, as well as Charlotte and the iconic duo Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. Let's see. And of course, we had that main event, Daniel Bryan making his return to SmackDown Live in-ring action in 3 years. And he took on WWE Champion AJ Styles. I thought the match was great. Daniel Bryan, looked like he had not missed anything. He hung in there with AJ Styles. He hung in there with AJ, and I thought it was a great matchup. The ending did see them continuing the Nakamura and AJ Styles, and possibly setting up a feud with Nakamura and Daniel Bryan, where Nakamura came out near the end of the match, attacked Daniel Bryan. That cost AJ the match, and then he would hit the Kinshasa to the back of Daniel Bryan's head, and then would go after AJ Styles, hit 2 low blows and a Kinshasa, and then he would leave. So obviously that continues their feud with Nakamura and Styles, as well as maybe setting up a future feud with Daniel Bryan and Nakamura. So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens if either one of these guys are still on SmackDown Live as after next week. So, that was pretty much it for SmackDown last night. I thought it was a good show. I did think Raw was a little bit better with all the returns that they had on last Monday's Raw, as well as all the NXT call-ups that they got with Ember Moon, Authors of Pain, and No Way Jose going to Raw. Honestly, I thought there would have been maybe one or two more debuts as far as call-ups for SmackDown, but that was not the case last night. There had been rumors of, as we saw, the Iconic Duo making their SmackDown debut, but there had also been rumored of Andrade Cien Almas coming to SmackDown Live, as well as Sanity as a faction, but maybe they're saving call-ups for next week's Superstar Shakeup, so we'll have to wait and see if that actually happens. But we did see Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the Iconic Duo, make their SmackDown debut last night, and they did it in a big way, attacking Charlotte Flair and costing her the SmackDown Women's Championship, which allowed Carmella to cash in. So that was great to see. But my overall thoughts on last night's SmackDown Live, I thought it was a good show. It was great to see Paige becoming the new general manager. I was really impressed with Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. And it was great to see the Iconic Duo finally making their main roster debut. So, with that being said, if you guys watched last night's SmackDown Live, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. And as I mentioned in my Raw recap, who do you guys see going to Raw and going to SmackDown Live next week? So that's pretty much it for that. So with that being said, this has been my SmackDown Live recap for last night's episode. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.